Yeah. Jackie, can I see you what it looks like if you come back in and still favor your face to the left a bit? That's a good mark for Jackie there.
Yeah. Hey Nick, can we figure out where the blood splatter would be?
Yep.
Sound speed. Scene 3, shot 1, take 1.
We just finished filming one of the biggest projects that I've ever shot, and when looking back in the footage, I realized how incredibly expensive all the shots look, considering the very small budget that we shot it on. So using that as sort of the backdrop, I wanted to talk about how to make an expensive looking movie for no money. So chances are you're probably like me and you're a broke ass filmmaker trying to make it as a career. Quick disclaimer, there was a bit of a budget for the short film Clementine, which is probably a higher number than what most independent filmmakers work with. So I'm gonna be using other short films that I've worked on as example pieces, using the same rules to which I used for Clementine, and we'll talk more about the budget of Clementine and how we worked with it at the end of the video. The first is having a dynamic script. Without fail, it's not only having a good story, but it's having a one that people want to attach themselves to. If you're like me, you probably can't afford having a big crew, and especially paying everyone their full rates. The film industry is a crazy lucrative business, and when it comes to hiring people out, it's almost impossible to hire them for their full rate when it comes to your indie project. But what you can do is have a really dynamic script that hooks people in and makes them want to work with you for a favor. Clementine, the short film that we're working on right now, we filmed in this incredibly dynamic home. We had a link to the home in the description section of our script so that when collaborators were to read the script, they could actually see the film we were shooting in and got really excited about it and perhaps wanted to work on the film even more, just showing what we already had in place. The big thing that I was able to really get a lot for this film was just help from all corners of my network. 3 things come into play when it comes to good favors. 1, is it a good opportunity for the other person to cling on to, whether it's something to expand on their reel or it's an exciting project. The second one is, are you someone that people want to collaborate with? Now, even if you don't have an exciting reel or people haven't even seen what you've done, which was actually quite a few people who worked on this project with me had no idea what I'd done in the past, but they liked me as a person and they wanted to work with my personality more than they wanted to work with my skill, which says a lot about just what personality can get you when it comes to working with collaborators. And then the third thing is, can you exchange your services in collaboration for the favors that you're getting? But a quote that I always go by, and I even have it written in my book, which is, favors stretch further than fortune. The next few things I want to dial into are what makes a good science fiction film. The first one is production design. Cheap production design for science fiction films actually is really easy to leverage. The biggest one is small LED lights. These things are everywhere now, whether it's LED light tubes. This is how we filmed a lot of our basement stuff in our new short film, as well as even our film Freelancer. We use them as practicals in the background, but even as small as getting tiny LEDs and taping them into corners of a room. You can buy cheap ones on Amazon. This is how we were able to light one of our sets in our short film, The Statement. And finally, for our short film Freelancer, we even had these like little LED armbands that cyclists wear, and they added a cool production design element. Small and compact colored lights really go a long way. They can go everywhere from lighting your set to even acting as a production design element. Now, wardrobe has been always so important when it comes to working on my projects. Most importantly, Clementine, the one that we just finished, we had our main character wearing this like all white linen costume. The reason for that was there's some fun stuff that happens within the movie, but it also represents our character and who they are. So if you can find some wardrobe that works with your character, I am not a wardrobe person, and when it came to making this movie, I did not pretend that I was one. So my girlfriend, who also played the lead actor, really helped with coming up with that. I even found a collaborating wardrobe person, Faye Fan, who was incredible, helped construct for under $100 these unbelievable traveler costumes that you see within the movie. And they were designed by simply buying some masks off of Amazon and some other fabrics that she found around town and constructing them together by using just incredible talent and time. All right, great cut. That was beautiful. Love it. Excellent. That felt great. Nice stuff. And that leads me into the next big element, which is props. Props are really fun for science fiction movies because really they don't need to be anything specific. So for example, in Freelancer, in order to have like a door scanner, we just found like, I don't even know what it was. I think it was like a solar panel that we stuck on a door, and all of a sudden now it's like a door scanner. And the vast majority of props can really be elevated in post-production by sound effects.
No, I said no needles. It's on my profile.
We need to get the infection under control.
It's just an antibiotic with a baseline pain relief.
I don't like it. I said I don't want it.
Now, there's a great saying in filmmaking, which is show, don't tell. But I would say a better tool for the independent filmmaker is to hear, not show. And what that buys you is curiosity as well as saving money in the budget. Famous film Jaws. You hardly ever see the animatronic shark because, well, it wasn't working when they were filming. So what did they use? Well, the camera angle of the shark, the sound of the music, dun, 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 and the water splashing. And that gives us enough to feel that something is scary. In fact, if we were to have seen the shark in the shot, it probably wouldn't have been as effective.
Thank you. Got it. Scene 2, shot 1, take 1, MOS.
And action. Every film that I've shot on, I've always focused on what is the best location to tell this story, and almost focusing on location as strongly as if it's a secondary character as opposed to just the backdrop that the characters are in. Whether it's a van that we can deck out with cool production design, a storage container that we can put some LED light strips in and create a glowing triangle for some reason, or a beautiful state-of-the-art home that we can ask some close friends to use for the weekend. And what this buys you is so much more. Since we filmed Clementine in this beautiful home that was lent to us by an incredible family of Jackie's friends, we were able to actually cut a lot of costs for lighting, setups, production design, and many other things because the house already came prepped with what we needed. Shots were easy to capture right out of the camera because the house was lit for the sun. So our cinematographer, Nick Pilecki, even though he did some incredible lighting setups, the vast majority of things were also done just with the natural lighting of the space, and we just waited on the sun's time to angle itself around the house.
Let's bring you back half an inch. Let's go and forward a bit. Let's land you there. Does that change our mark at all? We'll just kind of, yeah, not really.
Finally, let's talk about what you're probably wondering, which is budgets. How much do you spend on these movies? What do they cost to actually make them? So we're gonna go up in budget range. The first film that I talked about, which was The Statement, starring Zach Levi. All these films have a link to, I'll have a link to in the description below. That film we filmed for actually under $200. The most expensive thing for that film were the LED lights and the hazmat suits that I bought off of Amazon. Everything else was actually leveraging what I had in my own backyard. I was good friends with the actor, the cinematographer, who's one of my best friends, was hanging out with me for the weekend, and the storage container and forest were just right there. So the second film, Freelancer, had a little bit more of a budget. That film was $5,000, and the reason why it was so expensive was I had to pay for the location as well as every single collaborator who was on the project, including post-production, production, renting out gear. And for a film of that scale and scope and what we were able to achieve with it, that was also done on a shoestring budget. And the final film on the list, Clementine, the film that we just finished that I'm so excited about, is the most expensive short film that I've ever shot and made, coming in at $8,000 for all expenses. This was a 3-day shoot with multiple crew members, 1 main actor, 2 producers, a writer, a cinematographer, first AC, grip and lighting, incredibly extravagant location, full gear kit, full camera and lighting setup, craft, wardrobe, production design, post-production VFX, and finally sound design. So all those things sandwiched together created the full budget of the film. If you guys want me to go into a full deep dive of the budget of making a science fiction film and where that $8,000 goes, let me know in the comment section below. But all the tips that I provided in this video are really going to be able to get you to the next level. Now, if you want to dive deeper into the other projects that I talk about, I actually have done a few videos for the amazing YouTube channel Film Riot, which you can take a look at how I made my 2 other sci-fi films there. Before this video is over, I want to give a big thank you to all of the collaborators who I've worked with on previous projects, including this current one. Each cinematographer that I worked with, whether it was The Statement, Clementine, or Freelancer, worked completely for free, just for the sake and beauty of making a good movie. In this moment, I just want to give some attention to those who made the film possible, because this movie would not have been done without the hard work and labor of those who went above and beyond to create Clementine. That goes to, first and foremost, my right-hand man and collaborating partner, Neil, who wrote the script, and also just like an amazing brain on the film. My two producing partners, Anna Jane Edmonds, Gina Simone, my partner in crime in real life and in movie life, Jackie, who plays the lead character of the film. We have Grip Gaffer and First AC, Hod and Dave, stunt person, Justin Moses, co-star, Siobhan, incredible family who gave us the home, the Bletchers, production designer and props, Vince, post-production VFX, my good friend Genesis, cinematographer wizard, the guy who blew away every single visual, Nick Pilecki, and all of the behind the scenes that you're watching currently throughout this video goes to my boy Ryan. A link to some of their Instagrams will be in the description below. Go give them some support. This film project would be absolutely nothing without them. And actually, I should acknowledge the sound person, Carter, who just absolutely dominated it with the sound. So that is the list of the people who made this film possible. As you can tell, no movie is made without the hard work and labor of those who collaborate on it. Go give them some support. And also, thank you guys so much for watching this. If you're interested in checking out Clementine, watching it, you guys are the first to see these clips from the movie. Like, even some of the crew members haven't seen the stuff that I showed in this video. So if you want to watch the full version of the scenes that you watched some clips from today, you guys can take a look at the film we'll be playing and premiering in Toronto, August 26th weekend at Buffer Festival. And we'll be doing an online release not too long after that. And if you want to take a look at any of the other films that I talked about, I'll have links to them in the description below, along with their behind the scenes. So thank you guys so much for watching, listening, and learning. I absolutely love you. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you in another video.